Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. These stories and ideas challenge how we think about right and wrong, life and death, and the choices we believe we would make under pressure. If you enjoy thoughtful content that goes beyond surface-level opinions, you're in the right place. Today's discussion isn't about easy answers. It's about uncomfortable questions, questions that reveal who we are when morality stops being theoretical and becomes personal. What would you do if you were forced to choose between lives? Would your values hold steady, or would they shift when reality closes in? Philosophy isn't about memorizing names or theories. It's about confronting yourself. And once you truly engage with these questions, you don't walk away unchanged. So stay with me, because this journey begins with a simple story, but it ends somewhere much deeper. Imagine you are driving a trolley speeding down a track at 60 miles an hour. Ahead of you, 5 workers are repairing the rails. You pull the brakes, but nothing happens. Panic sets in. You know with absolute certainty that if the trolley continues forward, those 5 people will die. You feel helpless until you notice something else. There is a side track to the right. On that track stands a single worker. Your steering wheel works. You have seconds to decide. If you turn the trolley, 1 person will die, but 5 will live. If you do nothing, 5 will die. This is not a puzzle designed to entertain. It is designed to expose how quickly morality becomes real when action is unavoidable. The question is simple, yet disturbing. What is the right thing to do? When people are asked this question, most choose to turn the trolley. The reasoning feels obvious. Saving 5 lives seems better than saving 1. It feels rational, efficient, even compassionate. Many argue that failing to act would be worse because inaction still results in death, only more of it. Others say responsibility lies in minimizing harm. But beneath these answers lies something deeper, a belief that numbers matter morally, that outcomes matter more than intentions, that morality can, at least sometimes, be calculated. This instinct feels natural to many of us, especially in moments of crisis. But is it really that simple? Or does this reasoning hide something dangerous, something we only notice when the scenario changes? Now imagine a second situation. This time you are not driving the trolley. You are standing on a bridge overlooking the track. Once again, a trolley is racing toward 5 workers. The brakes have failed. Death is seconds away. Standing next to you is a very large man leaning over the railing. If you push him onto the track, his body will stop the trolley. He will die, but the 5 workers will live. The numbers are identical to the first case. 1 life for 5. And yet, suddenly, most people refuse. They recoil. They feel something is deeply wrong. Why? What changed? The outcome is the same. The numbers are the same, but our moral instincts shift dramatically. This is where morality stops being comfortable. In the first case, people feel like they are redirecting harm. In the second, they feel like they are committing murder. The distinction isn't logical, it's emotional. It has to do with agency, intention, and proximity. Pushing someone with your own hands feels different than turning a steering wheel. Even though the result is identical, the act itself feels morally heavier. This discomfort reveals something crucial. We don't judge actions solely by their outcomes. We also judge them by how they are carried out, by whether someone is used as a means rather than respected as a person. And this tension lies at the heart of moral philosophy. Some argue that refusing to push the man is inconsistent. If 5 lives matter more than 1, then the method shouldn't matter. Others argue that allowing harm is different from causing it, that killing someone directly crosses a moral line that consequences alone cannot erase. These disagreements aren't about intelligence, they're about values. They reveal 2 competing ways of thinking about morality. One focuses on results. The other focuses on rules, duties, and rights. And neither can be dismissed easily, because both feel deeply compelling, depending on the situation. Consider a medical scenario. You are an emergency room doctor. 6 patients arrive after a major accident. 5 have moderate injuries. 1 is critically injured and requires all of your time. If you save the 1, the 5 will die. If you treat the 5, the 1 will die. Most people choose to save the 5. Once again, numbers guide the decision. The act feels tragic but acceptable. You aren't killing anyone, you are allocating limited resources. This distinction matters psychologically, even if the moral outcome is the same. Context shapes our judgment more than we like to admit. Now consider another medical case. You are a transplant surgeon. 5 patients will die without organ transplants. In the next room is a healthy person who came in for a routine checkup. If you harvest his organs, he will die, but the 5 will live. Almost no one agrees this is acceptable. The reaction is instant and visceral. This is murder. This violates something fundamental. Even though the numbers once again favor the many, our moral instincts refuse. This scenario forces us to confront the limits of outcome-based reasoning. From these cases, 2 moral frameworks emerge. The first is consequentialism, which judges actions by their results. If an action produces the greatest overall good, it is morally right. This idea feels practical and humane. It aligns with our desire to reduce suffering. The second framework is categorical morality, which holds that certain actions are wrong regardless of outcome. Killing an innocent person, using someone merely as a tool, these acts are morally forbidden, even if good consequences follow. This framework protects individual dignity, but it can feel rigid and tragic in extreme situations. Utilitarianism is the most famous form of consequentialism. Developed by Jeremy Bentham, it argues that morality should aim to maximize happiness and minimize suffering. Bentham believed humans are governed by pleasure and pain, and that moral decisions should reflect this reality. His principle is often summarized as the greatest good for the greatest number. It's elegant, it's intuitive, and it has shaped laws, policies, and public thinking for centuries. But as we've seen, it also leads to conclusions many of us find disturbing when applied without limits. Opposing this view is the philosophy of Immanuel Kant. Kant argued that morality is not about results, but about respect for rational beings. People are not tools, they are ends in themselves. According to Kant, certain actions are categorically wrong, no matter how beneficial the outcome. This idea preserves human dignity, but it raises hard questions. What if refusing to act leads to greater suffering? Is moral purity worth the cost? Kant doesn't give easy answers. He gives demanding ones. Philosophy becomes dangerous here, not because it is wrong, but because it destabilizes certainty. It forces us to question assumptions we didn't even know we had. Once you realize that your moral instincts conflict with each other, you can't unsee it. This is the personal risk of philosophy. You lose the comfort of simple answers. You gain self-knowledge, but at the cost of innocence. And that loss is permanent. There is also a political risk. Many believe philosophy makes us better citizens. Sometimes it does. But it can also make us skeptical, hesitant, and critical of systems we once accepted. Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth for this very reason. Philosophy questions authority, tradition, and common sense. It creates distance, and distance can feel paralyzing before it becomes empowering. Some respond to this discomfort by retreating into skepticism. They say morality is subjective. Everyone has their own truth. There are no right answers. But this, too, is an evasion. We live our values every day, whether we admit it or not. We make choices that reflect judgments about right and wrong. Refusing to reflect on those judgments doesn't make them disappear, it just makes them unexamined. Kant warned that skepticism is not a home, it is a resting place. It may offer relief from uncertainty, but it cannot satisfy reason. Human beings are restless moral creatures. We seek justification, meaning, and coherence. Philosophy doesn't give us final answers, but it sharpens the questions. And sometimes that is more important. This course and discussions like it are not about telling you what to think. They are about teaching you how to think, especially when thinking is uncomfortable. The goal is not agreement. The goal is clarity. To understand why you believe what you believe and what those beliefs cost when tested. As we continue, we will explore real cases where these theories collide with law, politics, and survival itself. These are not hypothetical curiosities. They shape decisions about war, medicine, justice, and human rights. Philosophy is not distant. It is embedded in everyday life. The unsettling truth is this: moral reasoning does not make life easier. It makes it more honest. It reveals conflicts that were always there but hidden. And once revealed, they demand attention. The stories we've explored are not meant to trap you. They are meant to awaken something, a restlessness that refuses to accept shallow answers. That restlessness is not a flaw. It is the beginning of wisdom. In the end, moral philosophy is not about trolleys, doctors, or abstract theories. It is about you, about who you are when choice is unavoidable, about what you are willing to do and what you refuse to do even at great cost. If this video left you uneasy, that's not a failure. That's the point. And if you want to continue exploring these ideas, stay subscribed. This is only the beginning.